What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 3 of the Perseverance Podcast. Today we have a very, very special guest on. She is a local celebrity, national celebrity, influencer, just a good overall energy, good person, Juju. So who came up with Juju? Or did we just call you that here?
No. So the little girls I used to nanny for when I lived in LA called me Juju, and I just kind of adopted it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my family calls me Juju now. Everyone knows me as Juju.
That's
I like
J-U, J-U.
J-U-J-U.
Gotcha.
So let's just start it off.
I got one quick question, though. One
Oh.
quick question. What does perseverance mean to you?
Ooh, okay. Just keep moving forward, no matter how tough shit gets.
Okay.
Just keep moving forward and trying your best.
Real talk.
And
I like
and that's pretty present for me right now.
You persevering?
Yeah, just like
Going-
going through the hard shit.
You going through a valley right now?
Yeah, pretty low valley.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yep.
perseverance.
Hey,
Yep.
You know?
It's not
Yeah.
where you start, it's
So,
where you
you
finish.
Being humble in your highs and praying in your lows.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to continue pushing forward.
Exactly.
So, get a little background about you. Let's tell the people, that may not know
Okay.
where you're from and kind of like your growing up, your whereabouts.
Where's your hood at?
I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Michigan sucks.
Excuse me.
I just
this
feel
is-
like
this
there's
our
a
second-
lot of people
second Michigan-
around here from Michigan.
Yeah, this is our second,
so why does
second
it?
in a
Why
row.
do you
It's
suck?
like-
You like me. We're friends.
But the thing is, it's like, yeah, that's cool. But it's like, why is so many people from Michigan? Like, the reason why, if you don't know, my family's from Ohio, right? Buckeyes, okay? So the team up north, it's a real beef.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that game this year because I got a lot of smoke for all the Michigans.
AB's
people's
from
out there.
Detroit.
Yeah.
And now we got you from Kalamazoo. This is
I'm
Detroit time.
sweating
You
my
know.
ass off.
That's good. It's in
Yeah,
the gym.
no, I'm from Kalamazoo. Grew up in Michigan. Went to Michigan State.
Okay.
Taught in Detroit for
I
a
know,
bit.
So you're a Spartan?
I am.
Okay.
Go green, go
All
white.
right. All
Oh,
right.
you okay?
No, all right.
Yeah,
Hey,
no,
that's
not a
better
big-
than the other one, right?
Yes,
What?
absolutely. The team up north.
U of M?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll let that one go.
Yeah, no, we don't like them.
So you went to Michigan State.
Yeah,
What'd you major in?
studied elementary education. I was a teacher for a hot second in Detroit Public Schools.
Dope.
And yeah, then I moved out to LA. Lived out there for about 3 years, just kind of was figuring myself out.
What's the scene in LA? I've never been to LA. I just always get told stories.
Oh,
and
you've
people
never been
are
to
like,
LA?
No. Everyone's like,
surprised.
dog, you need to go to LA. Like, you look like, so people will be like, you from LA? I'm like, dog, I wish I was going to LA. I've never been out there.
It's an interesting vibe.
Uh-huh.
I was 24 when I moved out there, and by the time I was 27, I was like,
Time to go.
yeah. This
So
is
you got
it.
over it. So
Were
it was
you
like,
in LA? Like what,
I was
what
in
area?
Santa Monica. I was
Okay.
in Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
Yeah. I was kind of all over, and I just nannied out there and just.
So you was nannies and people had some
Yeah.
bread, huh?
Yeah, for a family in Chicago. I'm still like super close with them. They're awesome.
That's dope.
And then moved to Denver, and
What brought you to Denver?
just a random choice, to be honest. I was kind of over being in LA. It just like wasn't. I just know.
So it wasn't a man or anything?
No. I didn't see myself settling down in LA. Denver, I heard good things about, and so
Right.
I was like, why not try? I had a friend out here, and I just kind of moved here on a whim. So
Okay.
well, all that, right? So you're saying, like, you're doing teaching and all that. How did you become an influencer? Like, what made you, like, was it something like you set out?
you.
Or was it like more of,
it's gonna be a great episode.
And sorry, guys, for you viewers who do not know, who have not been in Perseverance.
It's hot.
It's hot, but
It's a damn gym.
Yeah,
You,
real
want it
gym.
to be hot.
Usually I'm in here.
You want it to be
working
hot.
out.
So it doesn't
if
bother
it's
you.
not
Not with
hot,
makeup.
it's like AC, it's like no.
Real gym,
valley.
you sweated.
So I became an influencer totally unwarranted. Like, it was not anything I ever set out to do. I started sharing my story online. I struggled with an eating disorder for 10 plus years. And when I was in LA, I decided to like go through my own recovery.
Yeah.
And I just started sharing about it, to be honest. I started talking about my recovery, things I was learning in like therapy, and people seemed to enjoy it. And I was just kind of like, oh, people are listening, people are resonating, people have the same stories. And I just kind of fell into it.
I want to dig deeper into that. And,
Yeah.
you know, that was one of the main reasons I wanted you on this podcast, because I knew a little bit about that history.
Yeah.
And being in the physical fit world or the gym world, I've dealt with quite a few people, especially women with eating disorders.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think started that?
Man, I think it was like so many things. I mean, I think growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, like we just had such toxic stuff in our media.
Right.
Of just like what the ideal body type looked like, all of these like fad diets. And I grew up in a family where honestly the majority of the women in my family had eating disorders. And
were the women in your family naturally bigger, or
no, that we just we have a lot of mental illness in our family, like anxiety and depression, and eating disorders being one of them, and it's a psychosocial disorder, so it can be kind of passed down generationally.
Exactly.
It's also just something that my parents never instilled anything in me where it was like I needed to be a certain size, I needed to look a certain way. It was me watching how the women in my family talked about themselves. They never said anything about me or my bodies. It was like me seeing the relationship they had with their bodies, their relationship with food.
They just weren't happy with their bodies.
Yeah, and I also was bullied a lot when I was younger about my body. I am not a thin woman. I'm like always been curvy. My mom's very curvy, and I got bullied a lot about my body during puberty, and so I think that kind of just set it off. My sister and I also could not be more different. She is 5'11", blonde hair, blue-eyed.
Really?
Tall, thin. And I got called potential because I had potential to look like my sister. And so I always had this idea, for me to be cool, for me to be popular, I have to be thin. And it kind of set it off.
That's deep. That's deep. What was your rock bottom?
Honestly, I mean, 10 years of rock bottom. I mean, I did some really fucked up shit to my body and like to myself, and put myself in situations that looking back at it now, I'm like, I'm so grateful that I've had these experiences. I wouldn't take anything back.
Right.
But I was living in LA and I was nannying for this family, and I had just moved. I moved out of my safe place of being in Michigan. I am in a new city, and I was so anxious, and I was so consumed with wanting to lose weight and be thin while I lived in LA. And I remember nannying for this little girl, Zoe, who I love so dearly, and just thinking, fuck, this is kind of how shit gets passed down to kids. This is how it got passed down to me. Like,
she's always watching you.
Yeah, kids are watching, and they're like sponges. And teaching too was like a big eye opener to hear like 7-year-old kids talk about them not liking their bodies. And I just remember thinking, I don't want to live like this anymore. I'm so uncomfortable all the time. I hate the way my body looks. Yet I'm the thinnest I've ever been. So it's clearly not about my body. And I just remember thinking, LA could really suck me into a dark hole because it's so focused on image that I was like, I gotta get this shit. I gotta get this shit like handled now, because I was just like, this is not how I want to live my life.
I think society can kind of suck us in, just in general. And that's one of the things when we started this relationship that I appreciated about you, because I viewed your Instagram. I heard about you through RJ, or was it RJ or who was our?
When she came with, who was it?
Was it
Nicole?
Nicole.
Nicole.
Yeah.
And then I knew Charlene, and I had heard good things about your guys' gym.
But when I looked at your Instagram page, I was like, shit, she doesn't give a shit. And I love that. Right? Because we're all everybody on Instagram, they always show their good stuff. That's what I feel like Instagram is.
It's a highlight reel.
It is. It's seriously a highlight reel. And I said, I love the fact that one of our common sayings here at this gym is like, we take everybody from 8 to 80 dumb, crippled, and crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean every body type, every age, if you're skinny, you're fat, whatever, we want you.
Yeah.
Because I want to make you the best you. And on your Instagram, it was like, I don't give a shit. And I wasn't used to seeing that. And
Yeah.
that's what attracted to me. And I was like, okay, I feel it.
Yeah.
I
Oh, I
feel it.
love that.
So-
Yeah. I mean, especially I think in this like influencing space.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy to get wrapped up in like my content needs to look this way and this way and this way. And I'm like, my platform was created by me just being me. So I'm like, I'm not going to get lost in that shit.
So as like, you know, everything was going, and so you help a lot of women and people in general from your journey, and you being honest and you telling everybody that. So it's like, is it also challenging to, you know, open yourself up and tell about certain things? Because it's like, you know, not everybody could be as open about having an eating disorder and, you know, putting that out there. And in turn, yeah, you probably saved like people's lives the way what you do and your content. But like, do you ever feel like you're challenged in a certain ways? Because then it's like, do you think you're holding at like a certain standard? Like you're like up here, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've been doing this for such a long time now. When it comes to like being vulnerable about my body image stuff, my eating disorder, like that to me, I've talked about it a million times. It's definitely not triggering. It's not anything where I'm like, ugh, I'm sick of talking about this. Like, it's just part of my story. I think now I'm at a place where I've kind of gotten to a point on my platform where I value a little bit more privacy with things.
Okay.
Especially with like what I'm currently going through, which you know.
Right.
But I've started to learn to maybe not share certain things to protect my own peace, my own energy,
Right.
And have boundaries online. And I think for a long time, I shared so much, and that's why I created such an amazing platform with such an amazing community. But now I'm kind of like, there are certain things that I need to like pull back from and have a little bit more privacy on, just
Right.
because I value having some privacy.
And you
want
to have like, you know, your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, how do you kind of like take time to, or know like, hey, I'm not going to post this, or I kind of want to be separate here? Because, you know, even the times that we've been out or something and someone will come up to you, like they know you and all this, like, do you ever like, oh, I'm not going to post this because right now I don't want anybody to run up on me? Or
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think a lot of people think I'm probably super extroverted all the time. And to be honest, I'm probably a little bit more introverted than like most people think.
We talked about that the other day.
Yeah,
And
I think,
I was very surprised.
and I don't know if it's necessarily because of COVID, like those couple of years, or just me getting older and just wanting to protect my peace and energy and who I spend time with. But I definitely like going out and like having people come out to me. I think it's so sweet, but I'm also a little socially awkward with like.
I mean, yeah,
I'm
they
like,
just
how
run
do
up
I-
on you like, yo, you Juju, what's up? I'm like,
And it's so interesting, like this influencer follower type of world. Like they know so much about me,
Right.
but I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
So of course I have my guard up with things,
Yeah.
and I've been in certain situations where people have screwed me over. So I definitely am a little bit more like guarded with who I hang out with, how I show up online. And I've
move.
definitely learned don't share anything like in real time. I mean, sometimes I do. Obviously, I'm like, ooh, having fun. But then I'm like, oh, I'm reminded that, oh, I have people following me, and I've had some psycho-ass fucking people who have reached out to you and you. Like,
So we shouldn't have put the live that we were filming this live a second ago.
like to start having people walking down.
That's
no,
all right.
non-crackheads.
no, I don't think people are like that.
We
but,
got them. We got them. We strapped. We good.
Yeah.
Hey, nobody's gonna walk.
But
in
yeah,
here.
some people I'm just like, wow, there's some crazy people out
What's
there.
the
Most people-
wildest story? What's the wildest thing, like craziest thing that somebody like did?
I think I've just, as of lately, had some people come up and talk about things that I think are wildly inappropriate to talk about when I'm out and about having fun. I won't mention certain situations, but people coming up and being like, I know what you're going through. And I'm like, ugh, but I don't think you do, because I didn't really talk about it until recently.
And I
And
don't
like,
even know you.
yeah, and so certain things where it's like, I don't really want to talk about that when I'm like out having fun with friends. And it just puts me in a situation where I'm like, I don't want to be a bitch,
Yeah.
but also like, this is a weird interaction.
Yeah.
But that's expected, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes with Instagram or social media.
Exactly. And I think that's something that ended up on so many Reddit pages of people thinking that I'm a bitch and that I shouldn't be an influencer and all these things because sometimes I'm rude or like very blunt with my boundaries online. And I'm like, listen, I know it comes with the territory. It doesn't mean though I'm gonna like let people walk all over me and like invade my privacy.
I'm a human.
So I'm like, if I come off like a bitch and that means protecting my own peace, like I don't really care.
It's about just coming correct, being respectful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You come with respect,
Like, would
you get
you
treated
come,
with respect.
like, some people say some shit online where I'm like, I don't think you'd say that to my fucking face.
Yeah, and there's a lot. I think that a lot of that is what probably holds me back from being in social media because
Yeah,
I'll probably be
it's
like,
kinda scary.
man,
Oh, whoop your ass.
right, quick. What'd you say?
Come here.
Let's meet.
I mean, sometimes, and that's why I'm like, I reach out to my therapist and I'm like, we need a fucking session because I'm going to lose my shit.
I got a question for your therapist.
Yeah.
Does she have a therapist?
Absolutely.
She's a
Yeah.
good therapist.
Yeah, all therapists
Need therapists.
must have therapists. Yeah.
Therapy.
Back into the social media.
Therapy.
I want to go through because I'm always intrigued. What is the day in the life of a social media influencer? What, like, when you wake up, hour by hour, what happens?
Okay, you guys are
On
gonna
a
be
day that you're
shocked.
trying to make some money.
Okay, so if I'm being completely honest, my days are probably not like other people in the influencing space that are really in the content creation space. I'm going to be upfront and honest. I hate working. I don't like working.
Okay.
I'm not someone that is like, I'm part of this hustle culture. I love to grind. This is not who I am.
So
I
it just
realize
comes more natural to you.
yeah, I spent so much of my 20s having 3 jobs, working all the time, being burnt out that I was like, yeah, that's not really how I want to spend my life. And so
Yeah.
I've definitely created a life for myself where I have a lot of freedom. So I typically wake up at between 6:30 and 7. I have a slow morning. I make myself a matcha. I go for a walk around the park. I stretch. I check my social media, make sure nothing is crazy. I'll maybe post. I'll check my emails. When it comes to like creating content, I usually kind of see like what content is due with like what brands I'm working with.
So you guys, so your content, you have content contracts that you have to.
Yeah, so I have like a management team. So
Okay.
I work with Parker Management. They manage influencers. I have a manager. She works with the brands on the back end, like my contracts,
Yeah.
all of the back end emails, all that type of stuff. And then they send me product. I have to shoot it. I have to submit it. Sometimes they're like, we don't like this. I have to reshoot content. And to be honest, I spend a lot of time meeting up with friends throughout the day, doing shit I like to do, like, come to the gym, whatever. But yeah, my days aren't super, super packed all the time, but I often forget that like going on social media and going on Instagram, responding to DMs and comments is part of my job, but
Yeah.
maybe it just doesn't seem like that to other people.
Because, I mean, we getting into this argument.
I know, we do
Because,
get
like, to me, I feel like
I don't think I work a lot.
Just because you don't clock into a 9-to-5 job, like, all the posts you got to do,
Yeah.
like, that social media shit is, like, kind of,
It's a
it's
job.
time
It's a
consuming.
lot.
And you have
It's a
to
job.
do
And-
post every day. And
even if it's not like I don't get paid by just posting,
Right.
but I still have to maintain my presence
On
on
social
social media. So it's like, I mean, when I was in Bali, I definitely like took a little more time off of just not posting as regularly or showing up and whatever. But I have to remind myself, like, even just creating a post where it's of me in a cute outfit or whatever, that's like part of my job.
Speaking of job, without giving us an exact figure, because I was kind of blown away. We've had this discussion in private about the type of money social influencers make. So I'm just trying to be real broad here. Would you say you make more than the average college grad?
Yes. I mean, and here's the thing. This is very new to
Right,
me.
right.
I was a teacher and a nanny for a long time. I made less than $45,000 every single year, and I made it fucking work.
Yeah.
And back in 2019, when I quit my nanny job, the first year that because I wasn't just doing influencing, I was doing eating disorder recovery coaching.
Right.
And I don't do coaching now, but yeah, I made 6 figures in my first year.
God damn.
It's legit. That's legit.
Yeah.
I mean, because like some of the top influencers You know, there's people. My wife gets mad at me every day because there's guys that I watch about because I'm really into cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll watch shit on like guys changing the rims out. You know, and these guys are talking about they're making $200,000 a week on videos.
Oh yeah, I'm not making that, but
you know,
sometimes to see what brands they're like, oh, we'll pay you for this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what? How much are you paying me? I'm like, whoa, okay.
So sometimes it's shocking. To
Absolutely. I mean, and here's the thing. I am not someone that ever lives outside of their means. You're constantly telling me I need to get a new car.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She drives.
A Chevy Equinox.
But that's your shit though, right?
But here's
She's
the
like
thing.
she's a 40-year-old soccer mom.
I did buy the car from my
You do.
mother.
You do.
Oh,
Kinda do.
see, that's the
Yeah, I was
point,
gonna say you
exactly.
kind of have a nanny car.
I do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I don't give a flying fuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Like,
gosh.
I don't give a shit about that type of stuff. It's never been my
That's not your
thing.
thing, yeah.
I love cute clothes. I love to go out to nice dinners, and I love to travel. Like, this is where my money is going. And I've set myself up. I have a financial advisor. I have a tax guy. Like, I'm very smart with my money because I'm like, I don't know how long the influencing thing will last, and I
Right.
want to make sure I have myself set up where I, like, have a savings, I have a retirement fund, I have all of these
Or
things.
if you just say fuck it, I want to be done. I
Yeah.
can chill.
Exactly.
What's the best thing that's happened to you via the social media?
Oh,
Was
some
it-
of my best fucking friends. Like,
Okay.
honestly, three of some of my best friends, I've all met online, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't have met them if it wasn't for
This
my
platform.
Instagram,
Yeah.
and they will forever be my lifelong friends.
What's the most like baller shit that you like from Instagram that you've done? Was it being invited to some like crazy party where you're like, I would have never been in a room like this if it wasn't for this, or was it a paycheck, or what was it where
I
you were like,
think-
oh shit?
What?
It's a Lil Wayne.
Oh.
You met Little Weezy?
No, he slid into my DMs.
Lil Wayne tried to get at you?
Yes,
You
and
want
it
that?
was an absolute no for me.
What?
Hey, that's what I was-
Hey, let's dive into this.
Come on.
Yeah. What did
Tucci.
Weezy say?
He,
Weezy F. Oh, you still got the?
Of course,
Oh,
yeah, I'll show you.
put it on blast.
Yeah.
Is he trying to have some babies?
Lil
App-
Wayne.
no,
Lil Wayne come on the
no.
podcast.
Here's my thing. I don't care how much money you have or who you are.
He's just
that
not. He's
is-
not an attractive guy.
It's not my vibe.
Yeah, and he's like 5'2"
Yeah,
ish.
that's what he said.
I want you, babe. Whoa.
I made a joke.
Can I read this?
Yeah, go for it.
This is from the official
Tunchi.
Little Tunchi. So so in this picture, what were you doing in this video?
So here's the thing. Anytime you post a video with like a song in it, if you don't tag the artist, it gets flagged as like.
Oh, was this one of his songs?
Yeah, and so I was dancing in the kitchen like I always do, and I tagged him. Fuck, no one ever responds to those things because I just didn't want to get
He
flagged.
was on that day.
And yeah, he said, I want you. What did he say? I want you, babe.
I'm just looking at the video, so it wasn't like you. It's not nothing crazy in the
No,
video.
it was just me dancing in the kitchen.
So here's what it said. You know, and to put real talk, you didn't even have like a thong on or a crazy,
No, I'm
sexy
I'm
swimsuit.
literally just dancing
Yeah.
to one of his songs in the kitchen.
Little
Little
Tunchi said, "I want you, babe, with the black heart and eyeballs. What's your number?" She responded,
I was out with my girlfriend.
"What's in it for me?"
That's right.
And Tunchi responded, "Never mind, baby."
and then I sent him a video of me walking away like this.
Special. That's
Listen,
classic.
That was never gonna happen, but that was entertaining.
Hey, that's dope. We all meet some crazy people in our lives, and that's a little Tunchi
I mean, I'm
moment.
like,
But you know, if you ever meet him, he'll remember that. I guarantee. He'll
Yeah,
remember that.
so-
Or just pull it up. Be like, you remember this? Was this you?
remember when you slid
Yeah.
into? He definitely has a type, and his type looks like me.
And I definitely say that he is not your type.
No, that's
Yeah.
gonna be a hard pass for me.
Few questions. What does the name Carl Sono mean?
Ooh, that's a heavy one. Ex-fiance.
Okay.
That's what it means for me right now. RJ's face.
Hey.
You know, back in March, him and I called off our engagement.
Okay.
He's someone that I was with for 2.5, almost 3 years. And he is someone that, if I'm being completely honest, I don't know anymore.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I've never been more blindsided in my entire life about a relationship. And yeah, my life is taking a completely different detour than I thought it was going to.
And to be fair, you know, no, I don't know any breakups that end well.
Yeah.
When people are like, oh, I broke up and that's my best friend, bullshit.
Yeah. No.
You know, maybe down the road, 10, 15 years, 20 years from now, they may, you know, let bygones be gone. Maybe not, but I do understand there's a lot of pain, a lot of hurt going on right now. So
yeah.
you know, and you know, Carl, for you guys that don't know, Carl, he works at our gym. It's tough because we saw the stress on him as well. But you know, I can say I'm praying for y'all.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm praying for y'all. Next question. And viewers, so that means y'all got y'all's answers. Do not Instagram us anymore.
Yes,
of
please
what's
stop
going
bothering
on
people in my life.
I've had more people. I'm like, do you come here? Do you come to our gym? Who are you?
That's the type of shit where
And
I'm
why are
like,
you asking
this
me
is
about
why
Juju?
I will probably be far more private with the next relationship that I'm in.
That's all right.
I mean, I feel like sometimes it's like when you like, a reason why also like I'm like, first I haven't posted my son, right? Because I feel like a lot of people, they feel like, you know, on social media, like I don't trust a lot of like stuff on social media.
Absolutely not.
So it's like you never know like who's watching you sometimes, or like, you know, people are weird, or like, you know, they say some out of pocket shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like Courtney.
No,
I'm
protect your peace.
I'm gonna respond.
Yeah.
But so it's like with certain things, like I agree, like especially with you know, with a high platform, it's like certain things you kind of want to keep it on the side, because then it's like when so many people have access to your life already, when they have like something that's close to you, then that can kind of drive you a little bit different.
Yeah. No, having your privacy with things is underrated.
Totally understand. That was really, I mean, I think we ended that one with right on the right point, right on point. Juju, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you. We value your opinions, your views, your Instagram posts. I just want to let you know that you are, little girls look up to you, and I love the fact that, you know, I have to watch this being a dad, and a dad of 3, but more importantly, a dad of a female, that what she looks up to, and, you know, and I want her to look up to role models. And you are a role model. So keep that in mind, and everything you do. We're all role models, whether we like it or not.
Yes, absolutely.
That's shit we signed up for.
People are watching.
Everybody's watching. R.
Yeah, I just wanted to, you know, give you your props. Just keep doing you. You know what I'm saying? Keep lifting people up. You know what I'm saying? In any way, you're dancing or you're making a post, or even the serious things, or your crazy stories.
Yeah,
like
keep telling the
shit in
crazy
a bag.
stories.
Shit in a bag. Let's never forget about that.
Courtney's
Let's
face is
never forget about that.
like, I did.
But
You
you
had
know,
the shit really bad.
yeah. But
In a Lululemon bag in the back of my car.
but you know, it's
I
like,
did.
you know, that story right there. You never know, that made somebody's day.
It made my day.
I mean, the shit was wild. I didn't think
Everybody
that
has
shit
some
was-
crazy shit.
But you know what I'm saying? It's
Literally.
like
Yeah.
you just keep being you know, keep being Juju, you know, keep being a light, you know what I'm saying? Just
Thank
so
you.
people can keep, you know, getting some Juju.
Thank you. I love you guys, and I love
Pre-
coming here.
Appreciate y'all.
That's right.
That's a wrap, guys. Perseverance Podcast 3, we out. Wishing you guys abundance, prosperity, and success.
Whoa!
Yay. Nice.
Good job. You stop sweating so much.
Hey, dude.
You sweating hard for a second. That's dripping over here. The lights. Zach, you
Yeah,
get some
it's
extra
the
bright
lights.
lights. You got some new
Yeah,
lights?
it's not gonna look cute.